Hi, good morning. Bit of a strange one today. I had a phone call from my friend Sue Gamble, formerly Marriott. Um, Known for since I was about 13, 14 years old, so that's a long time. I used to call her parents mum and dad because they were really good folk. And although Sue's dad battled with a cancer, I think it was a bowel, I'm not too sure. We thought we was going to lose him about a year ago, but he got through it. But Sue got on with me on Saturday to say that her mum had had a heart attack on the 27th of September this year. So a bit of a gobsmacker, to be honest, because she was really, really healthy for her age. It was out of the blue. So I did have a caller from me, but we're not in each other's houses if you get what I mean. You know, if we're out and about and we see them, it's hugs and everything else. Although this keeping 6 feet apart at the moment makes it a little bit difficult to give people, a hug. Doesn't stop me though. Hugs are good. Princess Diana always said, hugging's good. Anyway, it's Mum's Marriott's funeral today. I'm not too sure what time, but I just wanted to dedicate this video to the Marriott family. Um, I've known the family, like I said, I've known the family since I was 14, and their kids, and me and my siblings. Well, more my sister than my brother, but me and my siblings, we used to go out on their push bikes together. We were known as like the push biker gang. To get me set for in the south, and I'm now a motorbike rider. So that was one of my goals, one of my dreams, which is why I was playing Any Dream Will Do, because this brings me into what I'm about to tell you. The previous videos have been mainly sorting out the clues on the 17 board about Princess Diana, and we now know that she is very much alive and well. I had confirmation on Twitter and through Jack Kidd, who is actually, there's a Claire whose phone message was on the message that I got from Jack. So I'm going to assume that she's covering Jack's messages, if you get me. So, conspiracy theorist, Well, you've got to think about it, He we had his chat with Charlie Ward about the Sarah Jessera, and he was going about how bad the cabal was and how evil and satanic they were, and then he sort of like it's I don't know if it was a deliberate kind of like line that he said, because this is all part of the movie. This is all part of the movie, especially with what the government's doing as well. It's all the movie. It's all the movie, and we can stop it at any time. So Jack said slipping up, and we almost got away with it. Now, make of that what you will. But I kind of thought, oh, he slipped up. So they would have got away with it, the cabal, and I think he was part of the cabal, not probably as heavily into the horrendous side of it. At least I'd like to think he wasn't that bad for me, but you don't know. Anyway, I've done a lot of researching over the weekend, and I'm going to give a shout out to Denise Poland, who has left some really good messages on my videos. Thanks, Denise, because words of encouragement is what people need, not pulling down. I'm highly sensitive as it is, do you know what I mean? Especially being in my 50s. We've seen an awful lot more and we can deal with an awful lot more. But the thing is that sometimes negativity, negative words can make you feel like just giving up. And I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I was playing Joseph and his made to take us to the dream coat, especially any dream will do. This is relevant because I was in a school production when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I was in middle school at Cliftonville and we did Joseph. I was in the choir. I've always sung. Love my music. Love musicals. So I've already sent a message to Denise to tell her, let her know that this is what I think is my truth. And Greg Hallett, not Joseph Greg Hallett, because the Facebook page that I've got of Greg, it just says Greg Hallett with the coat of arms. But I've got to thank you for Greg and I wish him happy birthday. So I know that there's somebody there, whether it's Greg Hallett or Joseph Greg Hallett, I don't know, but they're all joined together. They're all part of this movie, that we are participating in. We are all part of this worldwide movie. Clever. I don't want to go into the reveal too quickly because the simple fact that would be like the crescendo at the end of the symphony or the orchestra, do you get me? But basically, done some more digging, especially after Melissa Red Pill the World, remembered your name this time, honey, was doing the heraldry of Trump and taking his line back to the Stuarts in England, which is Diana's line as well. It also goes back to, I think, the Tudors. We've got Henry VII here, and also Edward II, or it could have been the third, I'm not too sure. I've got dots down and everything else, okay? Now, Donna's line is also Scottish. She's got a Scottish line, which is the Gordons and the Campbells. And then she's got the American line, which is the Rushes, and the third Baron of, I'm going to try and read my writing here, Thermoy. And then her ancestor Eliza, Eliza, Kerouac, is of Indian descent. So once again, we all come from somewhere else. Our forefathers came from the Middle East, Africa, everything. We've kind of like migrated over centuries. So that's what this is about. Right. So Diana's line kind of like intermingles with Trump's. And it's my theory that the Kennedys are also of this line because The one thing that stuck out the most, especially once Minister Red Pill the World had said about Trump's royal line of Judah, was Joseph, and then you got Judah. And I thought stuff like, well, those are brothers, Old Testament. And I'm hoping I get this name right, but apparently he was a prophet. I told you I'm not a big Bible person, I'm not into religion, but I get as much information as I can that is relevant, because this is all prophecies fulfilled, is Joseph Gregory Hallett's motto. And all prophecies fulfilled would bring me to this prophet. I'm hoping I say it right, like I said, Ezekiel. Ezekiel. I might have said it completely different, I'm not too sure. But he had a vision of the restoration of Israel with the 12 tribes of Jacob, the brothers, and the sons of Jacob, but the brothers, Joseph, Benjamin, Dan, Judah, Reuben, although Reuben kind of like fell by the wayside. There was a question with his father's concubine. One of Jacob's wives had a handmaid. In fact, both of the wives had handmaids. Right. There was Zilpah and there was Bilhah, the two concubines. The two wives were Rachel and Leah. Right. And they had a daughter. Well, Jacob had a daughter called Dinah, but apparently the females aren't worth anything. Sounds a little bit like, another religion that does that to women. So the 12 sons were born in Padam Aram, which means with different mothers. And Leah had Reuben. Reuben was born first. Oh, excuse me. I'm talking, thank you very much. Get out. Leah had Reuben first, then there was Simeon and Levi, and then Judah, which is Trump's line. Then there was Issachar. I'm trying to think of the song from Joseph because it mentions all the brothers, and because I sang the songs, I'm trying to remember how they sounded. So Issachar and Zebulun. Rachel had Joseph and Benjamin, and Joseph is Greg Hallett's line. Bilhah, who was Rachel's handmaiden, or one of the two of Jacob's concubines, had Dan and Naphtali, and then Zilpah, who was Leah's handmaiden, the second of Jacob's concubines, had Gad and Asher. Right. So, according to Deuteronomy 27, 12 to 13, the brothers in order would be Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Benjamin, and Joseph. But Joseph was later split into two half tribes for his two sons, Ephraim, and Manasseh, it's got a S-E-H on the end. And these were from Joseph's wife of Egyptian birth. It's enough. I should put my glasses on really, but let's try to do it big enough so that I can see. So Joseph's wife, Egyptian born, had the two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. Now, according to Wikipedia, Jacob had invited Ephraim and Manasseh's descendants to full tribe in their own right due to Joseph receiving a double portion after Reuben's transgression with Bilhah, the handmaiden. So you don't mess with your father's women, if you get what I mean. So that's why Joseph then got everything that he did. So with 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 Trump putting the American embassy in Israel, he was, as the line of Judah, staking his right to Israel, because Israel and Jerusalem is where the 12 tribes are supposed to be going back to. It's their birthright. And each of the each of the tribes on the four doors or four gates of Jerusalem or Israel, I would assume that it's Jerusalem. We don't want to turn the whole country into just whatever. North, south, east, west. Each gate would have the three tribe signs on the gate. And Judah's kingdom, or Judah's kingdom is in Jerusalem. So I'm going to assume, so I'm going to assume and put this out there that all prophecies fulfilled would tell me that they have got, hopefully, all 12 tribes of Israel together. The Greg Hallett that Natalie met in the church, I would assume, was either the real Greg Hallett of that Joseph line, or because this is a movie and they like to play with your mind a little bit and make you think, then I would assume that Natalie's Gregory is either the real one, hence all the police activity afterwards, or it was an actor. And then when Dave Mahoney and Charlie Ward and Jack Kidd bring Joseph Gregory Hallett to emphasise the Joseph line of the Greg Hallett, then basically they would have taken real Greg out, put this other Joseph Gregory Hallett in to bring the story forward, for the story to accumulate of what's happening and where this is supposed to be going. So basically, I'm not too sure if they've got all 12 lines. I don't even know if Ruben, because I just did a quick research thing last night and it was getting late over here in the UK. It's about 9:30 by the time I actually figured all this out, and it was like, well, if I jump on YouTube and do this, I'm going to look like I've been in a train wreck, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing worse than trying to get the message out, but your brain is tired. The body may be willing, but the brain's going, you know, I'll give it a rest. I need to go to sleep. So I've gone to sleep. I woke up this morning reasonably early, prepped everything, and I believe that the biblical, told you I'm not a Bible reader, but this is historic and biblical. And I think that if the 12 tribes of Israel are together, then that would make sense with everything. I think the Kennedys and Princess Diana's line, and definitely Trump's line, with Greg Hallett of the Joseph line, as far as I know, that's possibly 3 or 4 that I'm assuming are here at the moment. And basically, I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to be doing with this message, apart from putting it out there. I'm amazed with the relevance of it all, to be honest, because, like I said, I don't follow the Bible. I had the Bible shoved down my throat at a very young age, so The one thing that I did connect with was there's a church in Northampton. I'm trying to think of the road now. Duke Street. I think it's Duke Street. And there in the church grounds there's a statue of the crucifixion with Jesus on the cross. And I remember walking past there because I lived in Semalong and Abington later, but Semalong before I was while I was in like 7 years old. I remember walking past it and bursting into tears because of what I saw, you know. It's just a memory, and it still kind of like affects me now, because when you understand that people, even today, get persecuted for what they say, what they think, what they believe, what they do. I've had no end of, well, not no end of, but I've had a few run-ins with Mr. Plod. Not of my doing. Always somebody else getting me involved. Normally family. But I'm not going to air my laundry at this point, because this message about the 12 tribes of Israel is the message that they're trying to get out there. And I don't know how I can help apart from share this video with the fact that I've worked out that Trump is Judas line, Greg Hallett, the real one, whether it's the one that Natalie knows and he always an actor, or but the Mahoney's one is definitely an actor. Mahoney's Greg did mention in his documentaries about he met Trump in 1999. Well, I'm not so sure if you could hear the music playing, because, like I said, I'm just kind of like new to this, but basically, I had Joseph Any Dream Will Do playing just to get me into where I'm supposed to be, but at the same time, thinking of Sue and the Marriott family at this time, because it just seems that it's the yin and yang. As one goes, one comes in. So this is bigger than all of us. This is much bigger than all of us. And I'm just putting it out there. I just need to say that with Greg Hallett, if he's safe, then that's all well and good. Because I think that if they found out, I mean, the cabal wanted to destroy everything that was good in this world. So, from what I've seen on Twitter with JFK Jr. and apparently Isaac Cappy is back. So that's really good news. That is really good news. Because everyone thought that something had happened to him. So the fact that he's actually come out would tell me that the worst is over, that the cabal's been destroyed or detained or whatever. Basically, it's safe for people that weren't safe in the first place to come out now. So, like I was saying, Mahoney's Greg said that he saw Trump in 1999. And 1999, as many of us know, is the year that JFK Jr. did the disappearance. So I'm wondering whether Mahoney's Greg was brought in to kind of like take a bit of the slack, which is, I mean, he says he's had about 12 or 18 attempts on his life. Whether or not that's Mahoney's Greg or whether it's the real Greg. Um, it's still frightening if you think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, every day we take a risk going outside and we don't know if we're going to make it back home again. So I'm always thankful for waking up in the morning and going to bed at night and then wake up again and knowing that I'm still here. But with Mahoney's Greg saying that he saw Trump in '99 at the Commission in Greece, I believe, steps of the Commission, um, and Trump saying to Greg, "We're doing it this way." So I'm not too sure what that's supposed to mean, if you get me, but basically, the whole Mahoney side of it is production, film, and everything else. I understand that Denise is also in film and production. Join the dots, join the dots, join the dots. Basically, oh god, it was me of smile. You on Candy Camera. But so um, Santa surfing. Um, they're all kind of like linked on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? And this Claire, that is the polo player, uh, that sent the message through Jack's Facebook page. I'm going to assume, fucking hope they are, because otherwise I'll be the shit. White hats. um, they're coming to take me away. Hi. So basically, the message is, I'm hoping when it's the cut scenario, because obviously everyone's waiting for the 17th in a few days' time, the day after my birthday. There's got to be some relevance to all of this. I'm just so happy that I worked it out and that the 12 tribes of Israel is the prophecies fulfilled. That would tell me, or I would feel, not think, I would feel that the 12 tribes of Israel is the fulfillment of prophecies. Although I totally understand Mahoney's Greg and all the signs and symbolisms, that was just the message of getting us to look further than what we see normally. There's synchronicity as well, because when I actually put up the video about Diana and how she escaped the royals with Dodie and the speed scenario and everything else, with the car, literally as I got onto Twitter, there was a tweet that came up, literally there right in front of my face, saying Diana is Melania Trump. So, and because of the fact that there's been pictures of future proves past, then Melania was in Egypt, Diana was in Egypt, not quite exactly the same location, but one of the pyramids was there. That was the message, was that Diana and Melania, sorry. It's not easy when you haven't got a lot of teeth. You have to learn to speak again. Diana was in Egypt as Melania to acknowledge that future proofs past. And this, I also had a bit of I did a video with the rant at the end, telling people to take their masks off. And literally, as I got onto Twitter, John Galt, security guard, baldy headed JFK Jr., had put up, it's not my job or not our job to wake people up. It is our job to be there when they do wake up, because they are, I tell you, I've been awake for over 25 years. That's most of my life. And I can see right through all the BS. I can see right through all the BS. It's not easy, because you don't like to think that things aren't what they appear to be. But the one thing I will say is that here in the UK, old Bojo, there's pictures of Carrie, his missus, well, his current female, who's had the baby. Apparently, she's supposed to have been involved in the 666 ritual. I'm not too sure how far into it she was, but whether that was a prop, I'm not too sure, because I can't see. I don't like to think that Bojo is one of them. I know that POTUS has got control of everybody. Everybody's government is under POTUS at the moment, and each country has Jasara being rolled out, because Jasara is global. America is already rolling it out. It's there. But I understand that with Jasara, once it's publicly, globally announced, that POTUS has to step down, and there will be elections. I think it's 90 or 120 days later. I don't know if it's 3 months or 4 months, but I know that he has to step down so that Jasara can be formally implemented. So that would roll in with the 12 tribes of Israel as well. It's all going that way. It's all biblical. I know that the Jasara is something that Saint Germain had wanted for the world. He was doing a world pot fund or something, not a world pot fund, but a world money fund, if you get me. So basically, he was trying to make things better, and every time the world was meant to get this windfall, this jubilee, the cabal would stop it. 1963, 2001, probably many times before, but it depends on how far back you go. But I think that there's lots of people involved with this production. I don't think clones were used, apart from in the political arena. For the ones that were involved with the cabal, if they didn't want to cooperate, then they would use an alternative. It's the only way that I could do it. But other people, like the Mahoneys, like Joseph Greg had it, Mahoney's had it. I'm not too sure about Natalie, whether she was in it as well, because there's a picture of herself with her child. She's holding the child, and behind her is Greg Hallett, but Mahoney's Greg Hallett. That much is apparent. So if she met the real one or a different one, it's all part of the movie, it's all part of the play, then that would make sense that she's part of it, because, or she wasn't part of it, in which case that's what I was trying to say to MC and Natalie, was that if Natalie's saying this one, and Mahoney's doing something completely different, and obviously, so I'm saying that either the picture that she's got of her and her son with Mahoney's Greg Hallett behind her is her work with photographic doodads, because I know you can do that, superimpose or put two pictures on top of each other. Right? Do you know what I mean? Right? When it comes to computer stuff, I'm kind of like okayish. I'm more stripping bike engines down, and do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm more with spanners than what I am with PCs. So um, so Natalie's Greg in the church might be the real one. We don't know at this moment in time. Mahoney's Greg Hallett is definitely a replacement for the church Greg Hallett. Natalie might be part of the production, or she might not be. Maybe she's like me, just trying not being caught up in it and is trying to work it all out. But like I said, I always watch people's videos, especially the Charlie Wards and the Denise's and other relevant ones, because I'm not going to go into too much at the moment. I can't think. But basically, I think the real Greg Hallett is safe. I think the Able Danger website was a production to get you into that mindset of the possibilities of everything that's going out there. But then again, when you see things and it's like, I remember that, and it goes back to this. So it's all about joining the dots, and I think I have joined most of them. So yeah, so where it goes from here, I don't know, but it's definitely about the 12 tribes of Israel. Excuse me. Definitely about the 12 tribes of Israel, and Trump being Judah and Greg Hallett being Joseph. There's Princess Diana, she's still a princess as far as I'm concerned. Then she could even be queen. Never know, do you? Queen of Hearts, definitely, always, always, always. But Queen of England, I haven't got a problem with it. Better than what was on there before. At least it's more for the people and more for the children. Yeah, more for the children. So basically, if the other tribes with the Kennedys, the Trumps, Diana, and Greg Hallett, because he's got to be part of this, then basically that's 4 of the 12. So there's still the other 8 to find. But if Mahoney's Greg Hallett says prophecies, all prophecies fulfilled, that would tell me that all 12 tribes have been found. And it's just waiting for them to do the Israel thing, because Trump always said Israel will be left till last. So bye bye, Benji. Gotta laugh. The cause of all the world's woes with the cabal and Israel under Netanyahu and the previous ones. It's it's going to be interesting. I don't really like all the research that I've done and with what I knew before anyway, because like I said, I've been critical thinking for most of my life. So for those of you that have only just come into this, when I say like you're missing something, either that or it's purposeful to get other people to think. But because I can forward think and just pick things up, then I'm a little bit of an advantage to some other people that might not have caught up with this yet. So, um, yeah, I'm going to go and have my cappuccino and have my doobie first one of the day, first one of the day, proper full one of the day, and yeah, so all properties fulfilled. Um, 12 tribes of Israel. Uh, Ezekiel's vision of the restoration of the 12 tribes returning to Israel is what this is about. The fact that the tribe of Joseph had no land allotment, but his two sons did. Joseph, I think that meant for Joseph at the time, not for Joseph line now, because it did say that Jacob had actually um, elevated Joseph's two sons to a full tribe rather than the half tribe in their own right, due to Reuben messing about with Jacob's concubine. So it's not a free for all then, after all, is it? Yeah, they're talking about a free for all. I'm actually like doing this for nothing. Yeah, this is my gift to the world. You know, I don't ask for any money, but there are certain bloggers out there that are taking advantage of people in these desperate times. You should be ashamed of yourself, charging people to watch your videos when, yeah, yeah. Then again, like you know, you reap what you reap what you sow, and I I just do things for good. Um, I'm good juju. Yeah, I'm good juju. Uh, and we'll just go from there. But blessings to you all. It's a bit cold, a bit overcast here in Northampton, but the washing's done. Um, and we'll wait and see where we go with this. So have a good day. I'm not too sure if I'll do one or not. Um, Depends on what happens after this. Uh, I don't like secrets getting out, but then again, the ones that don't like the secrets getting out are the ones that Trump has taken care of. So, and because all those that were got woods out of the tunnel, seeing the light, it's just down for the rest of the world to wake up to the events that are going on. Um, Realise that it's a movie, that we can stop it at any time as long as we don't do the PCR test because they're already contaminated. The reason why the rates go up is because they're false positives. So if you test more, you get more false positives, and obviously the numbers are going to go up, and then the lockdown's going to happen. So um, I have it on good authority from one of the bloggers, June, um, that a nurse has let her know that up north they're being threatened with a second lockdown, and the nurses said stop doing the PCR test because as they are contaminated and it's giving false readings, which then means that the government with the false readings has, in their words, the right to lockdown. But they haven't because it's all false. Everything is false. It's not real. It's all fake. It's all fake. Everything has been fake. Probably for decades, but I'm not going to go too heavily into it because that would take some serious thinking. And my head was set on this, on the 12 tribes of Israel being returned to Israel, because it's their land, it's what they were promised in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and basically um, that would be the prophecy fulfilled that Joseph Greg Hallett, Mahoney's Hallett, was on about. So, having said that, once again, I am gonna sign off for the day and have my cappuccino and my zooby dooby dooby, and yeah, stay safe, be good, catch you next time. Love to you all. Bye.